Hey Womblers, this week we're off to Great Portland Street. If you're new here, then welcome. My name's Emmy and this is Project Womble. I'm on a mission to visit and explore all 272 stations on the London Underground. I visit each station and then I report back my findings. I love London, I love history, I love architecture, I love all the little nooks and crannies and side streets. I'm not a professional guide, I'm not a qualified historian, I just love London and I love exploring. I explore everywhere on foot, I don't even own a car. I love all the rat runs and little passageways. So yeah, come with me and let's explore London on foot, one station at a time. Here's our station summary. So Great Portland Street is a Zone 1 station. There's 2 platforms. It opened in 1863, so it's an old one. It's under the local authority of Westminster and it serves the area of Fitzrovia. It's beautiful down there. When you're down there, if you have a look up, you'll see some really nice features, some old light fittings, some lovely brickwork. It's a Grade 2 listed station and it's quite rare actually. It was designed by architect C.W. Clarke and it's rare because it's one of the few London Underground stations that's situated on a traffic island basically, and it's circular, so that makes it doubly rare. And it's got some beautiful old signage inside the concourse, so that's something to look out for. It's on 3 lines: the Hammersmith and City, the Metropolitan and the Circle line. It's not a massively busy station, but it actually gets you out quite central. You're quite near Regent's Park, couple of minutes walk away from there, and you're quite near Oxford Street, 10-20 minutes walk from Oxford Street. So yeah, it's quite central. Talking of walking, if you want to do these walks, then the walks are available to download for free in the Go Jauntly app. I put all my walks up there, so yeah, check it out if walking's your thing. Here's our little map. This is where we're off to today. We're going to do a little loop, the loop of Fitzrovia, so let's do it. As you come out of the station, the first thing that you'll spot and the first point of interest is the Portland Hospital. It's quite a famous maternity hospital and some notable babies have been born there. So Princess Beatrice, Princess Eugenie, Prince Archie and Brooklyn Beckham, all born in that hospital. Just round the corner from there, we've got a couple of blue plaques. We've got the first blue plaque here is Edward Murrow, who was a broadcaster, World War II broadcaster. Next we've got Cedric Simpson, who was Professor of Forensic Medicine at Guy's Hospital, and he gained the reputation of having performed the most post-mortems, more than any other pathologist in the whole world. So what a claim to fame, eh? And talking of doctors, this area is very close to Harley Street. This road we're walking down is Hallum Street, but this whole area is part of the Harley Street Conservation Area, which, you know, Harley Street's famous for doctors. I mean, these days, famous more for cosmetic surgery, but back in the day, famous for doctors. I'll take you down Harley Street when we do Marylebone Station. We're not heading that way at the moment. We're not going that far west, but yeah, interesting because this is all part of the Harley Street Conservation Area. So our next blue plaque is Wilkie Collins, who was an English novelist and playwright known for The Woman in White. And as the camera pans round, we'll get a first glimpse of the BT Tower, which we're going to cover a bit later, but there it is. First, we're going to head to Portland Place to find the BBC Broadcasting House. Check it out. I'm sure you recognise this from the TV. The BBC made their first broadcast from here in 1932. And then outside there's a statue of George Orwell. And the reason he's here is because he used to work here. And apparently he based Room 101 from 1984. He based that on a room that he used to work at in this building. Pretty cool, huh? And then just across from there you've got the famous Langham Hotel. Princess Diana used to like it here. Winston Churchill's been here. And Wallace Simpson used to like coming here. So yeah, lovely famous 5-star hotel right at the top of Regent Street, because that's where we are now. We've popped out on the top of Regent Street. Opposite the Langham, you've got All Souls Church, which is a beautiful Grade 1 listed church designed by architect John Nash. There's a bust of John Nash outside the front. This section of Regent Street, in fact, this whole of Regent Street was laid out by architect John Nash. and with this church at the top. And then opposite there, we've got another blue plaque for the Queen's Hall, because before World War II, there used to be a concert hall here, quite a famous concert hall, but it was destroyed in the Blitz, and all that remains is this plaque now. We're kind of halfway through our journey now, so I thought I'd insert a map so you can get your bearings and see where we've been and where we're going. So we've gone south all the way down, and we're like at the top of Regent Street, and we're just about to loop back round on the return journey. We're just heading down Mortimer Street now, and outside number 97 you'll find the blue plaque for Hector Monroe. There's another blue plaque on here as well, Saki House, because Hector was known under the pen name of Saki, but he was known as master of the short story. We're turning on to the famous Great Portland Street now. There's a lovely old pub there called the George. I didn't go in, but it's a lovely Grade 2 listed pub. Looked great. This is Great Portland Street. That road will take you back up to the station. We're going to head off though and go up Foley Street. There's a really nice hotel up here called the Langham Hotel. Blue plaque. There's a blue plaque up there, Edmund Malone. So opposite there is the Langham Court Hotel, not to be confused with the Langham that we saw earlier. I just really like the brickwork here. It's very, I don't know, Art Deco maybe. I just thought it looked really pretty. I do love me some nice brickwork, I'm not going to lie. So we're going to head across this pedestrian crossing where the Crown and Sceptre pub is, and then this is where we're headed, this cute little coffee shop called The Attendant. So this is a coffee shop that's built inside an old Victorian gents toilet. How cool is that? I'll just take you inside. It was quite busy in there, and I didn't feel that comfortable filming, so I didn't get a lot of footage, but it was really cool down there, really quirky, love it. Also on Foley Street, we've got some of those nice old street signs. So whenever you're in London, look up. There's quite a few in Fitzrovia in this area of like these really old street signs. Next blue plaque is Henry Fuseli, a Swiss painter who spent most of his life living in London. And then next up, we've got the King's Arms, which is a pub. It's sort of been converted into a boutique hotel. It's been there since 1759. Beautiful architecture, and I love what they've done with the place. Some more lovely signage here in the brickwork. I love this font. I love this Art Deco font, and I love looking up and finding these ghost signs written into the brickwork. Coming up, we've got a blue plaque, which is a Black History blue plaque, which is nice to see. So this is a plaque for Alada Equiano, who was a writer, and he published his autobiography all about the, suffering the barbarity of slavery. And his writings kind of paved the way for the abolition of slavery. So it's nice to see a plaque here. Right across from there, we're going to head through this cheeky little alleyway to find a little hidden gem. So, come with me. Okay, this is Fitzrovia Place, which is a load of swanky new developments, new flats. But tucked away in the middle is this, which is Fitzrovia Chapel, which is a Grade 2 listed chapel. So basically, this whole site used to be the Middlesex Hospital, and this was the hospital chapel. So this was preserved and Grade 2 listed, but the Middlesex Hospital was demolished, and then they put these flats up. But this little chapel's absolutely gorgeous, and it's open every Wednesday. Here's what it looks like inside. It's absolutely stunning. It was designed by John Loughborough Pearson, and he started the project in 1891, but the interior was actually completed 32 years after his death, in 1929 by his son, Frank Loughborough Pearson, which I think is lovely. So the dad started the project and the son finished it off. I mean, how lovely is that? It's actually been deconsecrated now, so it's a secular chapel, and it's a venue, where you can have non-religious ceremonies, weddings, civil partnerships, baby namings, and so on. Definitely worth a visit if you're in London on a Wednesday. Check out the inside. Then, if we leave there and head out towards Cleveland Street, we'll pop out and find our next blue plaque. This is 22 Cleveland Street, which is where a young Charles Dickens used to live. And this is just a couple of doors away from where the Strand Union Workhouse on Cleveland Street used to be. And some say that that workhouse was the inspiration for the workhouse in Oliver Twist. Just across from there on Foley Street is this beautiful primary school called All Souls Primary School, which is a Grade 2 listed building, and it dates back to 1908. So look at these lovely murals. I mean, these don't date back to 1908, but I just thought they were really beautiful. But I do love these old Victorian primary schools. I think the architecture on them is stunning, and you can see why they get listed. But I also love these London primary schools where they've got the playgrounds on the roofs, which is quite common in London due to the lack of space. So it's interesting. It's interesting to me anyway. It's not exactly a London landmark, but I just find them really interesting. So look up when you're passing these schools. We're back on Cleveland Street now. Here's a blue plaque for the site of the old Middlesex Hospital. And here on the corner of Foley Street and Cleveland Street, we've got the King and Queen pub. We've got the BT Tower there. This is the King and Queen pub where in 1962 Bob Dylan performed his first performance outside of America. So yeah, very interesting. If you pop in, there's a black and white photo of the event behind the bar. We're now walking up Cleveland Street again. Cleveland Street's really interesting. There was quite a famous scandal that occurred in 1889. And it was linked to the post office that used to be here. So basically, there was a theft at the post office, and a young lad was picked up because he had quite a lot of money on him. So he was questioned by the police. And during the process of that, he admitted that he hadn't stolen the money. He got the money because he was working as a male prostitute in a male brothel in the area. So they did a stakeout on this male brothel because homosexuality was illegal back at the time, and so they staked out this brothel at 19 Cleveland Street, and it turned out it was actually frequented by quite famous sort of aristocratic men, and so in the end it all got hushed up, and there's this sort of, lots of people believe that maybe a member of the royal family might have been embroiled in the scandal, and that's why it got hushed up. So yeah, all very, very interesting. And it was rumoured that Prince Albert, the eldest son of the Prince of Wales, second in line to the British throne, had visited the brothel. So what a scandal, eh? Anyway, moving on. We've just got a couple more blue plaques to see and then we're done. We've got the lovely BT Tower here, which is Grade 2 listed. And it used to be the tallest building in London up until the 1980s. And it used to be open to the general public. It's not now, it's only open to staff and their visitors. But my husband has been up there, so I'm going to insert some footage here. My husband occasionally goes up there for work, so this is the view from the top. Pretty cool, huh? And if you want to get some great Instagram-worthy shots, head down to Warren Mews, where you get the Post Office Tower in the background, BT Tower in the background against these beautiful buildings. And it makes for a lovely, lovely Instagram shot. Showing my age there, calling it the Post Office Tower. It used to be the Post Office Tower, then it's the BT Tower, and now somebody else has bought it. Some posh hotel group have bought it, and they're going to convert it into a hotel. So yeah, very interesting. Watch this space. Here we've got our last blue plaque, which is Samuel Morse, co-creator of the Morse Code. I'm sure you've heard of that. And here we are back at Great Portland Street Station now. So we're just going to head in, and that's it for our little tour. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you were entertained or educated or both. Hopefully both. And if you enjoyed it and learned something, then maybe consider subscribing. I'd love to have you here. Thanks for watching.